What is up, my friends? So, Sharp Objects is the latest miniseries from HBO. Let me tell you about miniseries from HBO. Fucking incredible. The Night of was one of the best TV I've watched in so long, and I am telling you, watch this damn show. Don't let it get spoiled. Same thing goes for Sharp Objects, which is a adaptation of Gillian Flynn's book, Sharp Objects. Now, if you're not too familiar with the name, or if it kinda is a little hazy in your head, you're like, I've heard that name before. Well, it is the same author for Gone Girl, which we know is a fucking amazing movie, and Dark Places, which is a movie that didn't get that well received. I have not watched it yet, but people say it's not that great. So let's not talk about that movie. Let's talk about Gone Girl, however. I think Gone Girl was one of those movies that reawoke in me the want to write amazing stories that are really like, those stories that you just read and you're just like, I want to know more, and you want more. And I think that's what stories need to do, is keep wanting to give you more and you wanting that as well. And I think that was really what Gone Girl did, and especially the film is brilliant. David Fincher did an amazing job in that. And so we're here with Sharp Objects, which feels more in the light of Gone Girl than Dark Places does. So let's talk about exactly the ending. So the show took you through so many twists and turns in its limited number of episodes. And if you read the book, you probably saw it coming, and you were just anticipating how exactly it was going to be fleshed out. And that's something that's really interesting to me when I read something and then it's adapted into a movie. I'm just thinking, like, I wonder if they're going to paint it out the way they're going to, like the way I envisioned it in my head as I was reading. Now, I have not read this book, but I know a couple people who did read the book and watch the series, and they do attest to it being almost identical to what they imagined. So, pretty much by the end of the last episode, we realize, well, everybody else realizes that Adora has actually been poisoning her children as we see Camille fall. Now, it turns out that Amma had actually been building an immune for it after all these years of having it been done, but Camille accidentally, she hadn't, so this is why she had that predicament. Now, we also find out that actually it's Amma who had been doing all of these killings. Now, as it points out in the other episodes in the show, they also said that not one person could actually go ahead and do all these killings on their own. It would be pretty impossible. But yeah, so by the end of the episode, after all of this has happened, Camille is just like, I'm going to take Amma with me and we're going to St. Louis. And then she sees that the dollhouse, as she further inspects it, the one that Amma had been holding so close to her, she notices something weird going on with the floor. And that is that the floor is actually made out of teeth, her victim's teeth. And then Amma just is like, don't tell mama. And then the series ends. But many people who turned it off didn't realize that we actually got to see Amma in action during these killings. And that is in a post-credit or during the credit scene where we see that Amma killed Natalie, Anne, and May. And we see that Amma is the woman in white that was described in the beginning of the series, as we see another clip where she's in white and she's in the woods. And we see that the two rollerblading buddies were actually in on it as well, as we see them helping Amma during the killings. And the reason she did these killings and she went on this tirade of rage and anger was, one, because she was jealous. She was jealous of how Natalie and Anne were being seen by Adora, and she felt sort of like below them. And the same thing with May this time, except it wasn't Adora, it was Camille's attention that she was trying to get happened, and this is the reason that she went on this spree. This is something also that turns up in the show, is that Amma feels like Persephone, and Persephone is somebody who is sort of enamored with death and wants to be the queen of death, and sort of the way she presents herself, the way she's dressed, the white dress and all of that is what symbolizes all of this as well. And she doesn't feel as close to humans as she does with death, and I guess this is the way she can get closer to it, is by committing death. And I think that another reason Amma went in this direction was because Adora was poisoning her children, and I think a lot of this also stemmed more in both of them, and I think Camille expressed it in different ways than Amma did, and Camille was more of sort of self-harm and on herself, nobody else, but I think Amma took it more into like self-harming but harming others, and I don't know, I'm getting rambled in my head right now. I'm just thinking of so many things about like I could talk about and stuff like this. Pretty much by the end of the show, it's explained that Amma was behind all of this. She did have help. Now, if anybody else was complicit in this in the town and whatnot, it's sort of like sprinkled in there that, yeah, there may have been a couple of the people in there that knew about this, but it was just all hush hush, and that I thought that was a pretty interesting way to leave the show. Now, many people are asking if there will be a sequel or not. I'm not too sure. I think that shows like this generally will just end like that and just leave it up for your imagination. As I said, The Night Of is a show like this where we're left off on sort of wanting to know where these characters went and what happened to them, but we don't get any of that. And I think that's what makes a show really good, because you just want to keep going on these people's lives and seeing what's going on, and you're so heavily invested in this story and the characters themselves that you're just like, I don't want it to end. And honestly, I could go for another season of this and see where it heads into, but I'm not too sure if there's a sequel to the book or if the book further explains more what's going on. If you guys want me to talk more about the book and all of this, I'll definitely give the book a read and see where the book leads off in the end. But as that, we know that the ending pretty much sums it up. Amma was the killer all this time, and Camille finds out at the end. Adora was found out to be poisoning her children, and she had buddies helping her out during the killings as well. Anyways, what did you think about the ending? What do you think about the show? Did you like it? Did you not? Do you think Dark Places could have been better if it was a series like this was? Or did the movie do it justice? I've not watched the movie, as I said. I think I want to watch it just to see. And I think that anything would be better off as a series. I think Gone Girl definitely could have been a pretty awesome, like 6-7 episode limited series on HBO. Holy fuck, can you imagine that? But anyways, I think Sharp Objects is showing that TV and like these series can do a lot better than movies can. I think that's what it's showing, and not just Sharp Objects, but other limited shows as well, where you can really present something and give it the detail to attention it needs to, well, I don't know, I got those mixed up. Attention to detail that it needs in order to give you a really, really well, like, rounded and great story. So, I don't know. That's just my thoughts. I think I want to see more of these happening. There's a ton of other great books out there that I think could deserve this. What book do you love that you want to see as a limited series on HBO or wherever it is? Let me know in the comments below. I'm just saying HBO because I think HBO really takes well in the craft of making these shows. So you let me know what you think. Did you love the show? Did you not? What TV show do you think we should see next from a book? And anyways, as always, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more on the things you love. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you comment. We are on the road to 6,000 subscribers. We're 5,200 in, 800 to go. I just want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed, who watches, who continuously comes to the back to the videos. I really appreciate that. I know the past month has been pretty rocky on my channel, and it's been like, honestly, it's been the worst month, I think. I'm not there totally where I want to be with videos and the amount of content I'm putting in, especially quality-wise. It's just not there right now, and it's just so much happening in my real life right now, and it's just so much to take in. And then, like, I want to do videos sometimes, and I'm just like, I don't want to do such, like I do want to do them, and then I'm just like, you get into this sort of like mental block, and I've gone through this before. I've gone through this mental block before, and it's just something I have to get through, and I just have to push myself to keep going forward with it. And I want to thank everybody for keeping the views up there, and actually we're going up on subscribers now, and that gives me the push. So y'all are like the driving force there, so thank you for that. And anyways, as always, I'll see y'all next time. Stay positive.